All right, guys, and welcome to Coach's Corner, the best part of the stream. So we'll be going through Jadefire Masters, which is the second boss for Alliance side. It is an interesting encounter where there are a lot of issues on PTR. Hopefully the tuning is a little bit better and a lot of the things are fixed, but it is a pretty extensive second boss for the raid. It is quite fun, though. So for those of you that like more than just the tank and spank, if you're a ranged DPS, if you're a warlock, you're going to love this encounter. And really, let's start it off here. So this boss starts off with, excuse me, there are two bosses. There's the monk and the mage. They are sort of linked in the sense where you want to be killing one before the other. You want to be killing the monk before the mage. You never want to have the mage at a lower HP before the monk because the mage gets empowered with some abilities. The mage is a pyroblaster. He's a caster. You can interrupt some of his spells. He does a constant fireball on the tank, whoever has threat. And these fireball stacks, you can see here on the right side, they do get stronger. It is a stronger and stronger dot. Typically, you want to be rotating at around 4 stacks for this specific boss. All right, and there is the little monk, Mara Grimfang. And so what monks do, they do the little roll around stuff. The other big thing that the mage casts here is the Pyroblast. Now, if you guys have seen this mechanic before, big channeled spell coming, you need to break the shield, interrupt the spell, right? Exact same thing before. Burn the boss down, break his shield, interrupt the Pyroblast, or else someone will get one shot. It is a palm pyro that is going to hit you right in the face. It's going to kill somebody. So make sure you are able to quickly switch DPS to get that palm pyro down. There's the Pyro, long interruptible cast, which deals high damage. So again, wherever you can, you want to keep these guys together, cleave them down, because you want to maximize damage. Make your DPS happy. As a tank, try to make your DPS happy by giving them lots and lots of cleavage. So here we go. So here they're trying to keep them together, which is awesome. But again, it's fireballs, swap at 4 stacks, and then the pyroblast, right? Pretty simple for the first phase. The other big one is the Searing Embers. It is a magic debuff that goes on random players. You can see here that they dispelled it pretty quickly. Let's go back a couple seconds. There, you can see Searing Embers on 3 players right now. It is a dispellable debuff. Dispel it super quick. Like, you need to dispel it super quick. You can mass dispel it, but realistically, one of the best things you can do or should be doing as healers is assign a priority order. So Sparty is going to dispel from starting groups 1 to groups 5. Severus is going to dispel from groups 5 to group 1. So I'm going to dispel this way. He's going to dispel this way. So he would be dispelling Nimtaz first. I would be dispelling Niall, and we assign another healer to be dispelling the middle groups first, right? The middle, these ones. And that way you ensure you're not wasting GCDs, and you're not all dispelling the same person over and over and wasting all those cooldowns. If you do not dispel this, does lots of raid damage, explodes on the raid, bad, right? Bad. So again, the other big thing here is, oh, here we go. Yes, this ability here, you'll see in a second here, is the Magma Trap, which we'll go over shortly. But again, Searing Embers, dispel them, otherwise you'll explode. This Magma Trap, this is only on Heroic. This is a pain in the ass ability. It does only sort of spawn on certain sides from what we've seen. Now, the thing is, it takes away your real estate, right? It takes away your space as a raid from playing. It gives you less room to move. Sometimes the monk also runs over there, and then you actually have to run over there to kill him. What you want to be doing is you want to be using players to actually get rid of these magma traps. Again, you've seen these before. You've seen these on Ragnaros. You can see here the little paladin Bubbles tried to get 2, and unfortunately, he is going to die. So you want to be using classes like Hunters, for instance, like this, that can disengage. He takes some damage, awesome. He took half his health, not a big deal, it doesn't kill him. Then he disengages, doesn't take the fall damage. So Hunter's really advantageous on this fight to get rid of those magma traps on Heroic. The other thing you're going to see there, so that's essentially the mage in a nutshell through most of his phase 1, up until about 30 energy. Now the monk basically does the Whirling Jade Storm, which is a super annoying little spinny crane kick that monks do, right? So you're going to see him run away, and he's going to use this ability here. Did I miss it? Let me go back here a second. Yeah, let's go. There he is. So he rolls away, and he does this stupid little spinny thing. Now, he does massive AoE damage to the entire raid until somebody gets to him. So if you can roll back over to him, if you can charge him and hit him with a melee attack, Now the issue with this was it was a tank melee attack, not an actual melee attack. Hopefully that's been fixed where any melee can attack him, and he drops out of this little phase. So you can see little green things coming out. Then he was interrupted. That's the one really big thing for him. You'll see here in a second here on heroic, he's going to cast his ads. Where are they? There. So the Spirit of Zuen, you see a little tiger spawning. It chases somebody down. It's a priority target. Kill ads. Kill ads. Super important to do that. Let's see if it shows up there. The Spirit of Zuen spawns and fixes random play. You can see it spawning over here. And you can see the fixate. Again, we're going to have weak auras. We're going to have all those little add-ons that tell you who it's on. And you need to run away. Right? It's going to leap towards you. You do want to spread out if it's on you, so it's not leaping on the entire raid. So if it's on this guy right here, which it is, you don't want to be in the middle of the raid. That's going to do lots and lots of raid damage. Just run away. It'll be the runaway little girl voice sound, and kite it on the outside of the raid, not through your raid. At this point, your DPS should be murdering the Spirit of Zuen ad, right? That is a priority target. Outside of the Pyroblast, right? This is your priority target right now to get these ads down to make it really easy. So you can see here, they also can stun it, right? Stuns, whatever, all those things work to make it a little bit easier. Now, one of the cool tank abilities from the Monk is a multi-sided strike. If you are a keyboard turner, I mean, no offense, you're going to struggle with this mechanic a lot. So in this case, you really want to be using your right click to be turning and hitting the correct one. So you basically get knocked up in the air. You're going to have a little animal flash, whatever color, face towards you. You've seen something similar like this in the Legion dungeon with Illidan, where you were blocking him with a shield as a tank. Do you guys remember that one? Something similar here. So you'll see things flash. You need to be facing them, because if you don't, then you're going to take some massive damage. There, you face. You can see how he's turning. There you go. Usually about 3 or 4 of them, and then it teleports you back down, but you take a lot more physical damage. So that is where the tank swap also occurs. So you can see here, flash. You turn really quickly. It is pretty quick though, so if you are keyboard turning your character around, you're going to really struggle with that. That was a pretty quick turn even on heroic, and I know the average heroic player out there, they're going to have some issues. Here's the other ability that I mentioned. The Monk will gain extra damage done if she has more HP than the Mage. So DPS the Monk first. And that's going to be tough because the Monk is just running around like a stupid little sissy, right? So you want to be DPSing the Monk wherever possible. When it runs around, yes, range DPS, follow that as well, but be cleaving these where possible. So Monk is your priority target. You don't want the Monk at a much higher percentage than the Mage. All right, and so here are, yes, the other cool ability here. Those are magma traps again. There's the Spirit of Zuen. And so once you get to higher energies, there's more phases. So that's only phase 1 of the encounter. Phase 2 gets really fun. If you guys remember doing Blade Lord Talak and Heart of Fear, something very similar. I guess we're going to go through one more ability here, which is the Mists. Now, it spawns 3 bombs that are shrouded in mist or a smoke bomb. And you know how smoke bombs work. You can't line of sight. You have to be inside the smoke bomb to actually hit anything. If you're a ranged DPS standing right here, you can't kill these. It will not be targetable. And there were some issues here where like they would spawn near the stairs and you couldn't attack it actually. Hopefully it's been fixed since then, that they are fully attackable. So there are 3 that spawn, apparently at varying HP levels. You want to kill the lowest HP ones first, and the next one, or you may want to split up DPS depending on how strong your DPS is and how much life these things actually have. So you're going to see here they're going to run into it to DPS it down. It's got about 10 seconds or so before it explodes in the raid. You're going to see what happens here very soon, and boom. So it does this massive explosion until you kill it. Again, stack in and destroy it. The other big thing is, you guys remember I-beams, laser beams? These mines, not only do they explode, and not only are they shrouded in the stupid smoke, they have a stupid I-beam that you have to dodge. So you can see them running around the I-beam because it is going to do lots of damage. It is only like a 10-yard I-beam anyway, so not the end of the world, but you are shifting forward. Unfortunately, it sucks for those less mobile range DPS. I mean, again, this was PTR testing. Hopefully they fix some of these issues. Now, this is the phase 2 of this encounter. Basically, with phase 2 of this encounter, you're stuck with a maze. So this is the Monk and Mage maze. you need to get over to this wall over here to break this wall down and then engage the bosses and interrupt them, right? That is the plan. Of course, these stupid rings of peace, they knock you around, but on PTR, you're actually able to use gateways to just gateway across them or leap or jump or whatever. You're going to see the paladin here go around the side and just barely able to make it. There's the perspective of him there. He just tries to jump, little paladin. There you see them jumping across. Perfect. So have your spacebar bound. And it gets easier as some of these do despawn. You can see this guy going around here this way. So here's the paladin. Again, perspective from his thing. He got knocked around there. And now they're trying to get there. At the same time, you'll see flame patches coming down. You actually don't. There you go. So these flame patches, at the same time, while you're dodging these rings of peace, you need to be dodging, right? You don't want to get hit by these flame patches because you will die. So you're shooting little meters down on the ground. They explode. Not a fun time. That is mostly phase 2 in a nutshell. And then once you break them out there at 100 energy, they turn into their dragon forms. They do apparently lose some of the abilities like the pyros, but they do massive dragon breaths, right? So that'll be your main hero point if you're not using hero during the bomb phase, because it's going to be so much damage. You're going to be, you're going to have so little room, and you're going to want to kite the bosses back further and further and further as that stupid breath does so much damage and takes up so much room in your raid. So this is, I would say, a more difficult second boss compared to most. Again, massive damage there. This is on heroic, so yes, appropriately tuned for the most part. But again, massive damage. You can see here the boss is still at 50% HP, so quite a lot. You want to burn these guys down as much as you can, going into, before they have that huge amounts of energy, because you want to minimize the duration of that last phase. So again, it might be advantageous to hero at the start, have your cooldowns up, blow the crap out of them, and of course you are going from one to the other. These living bombs, they are in fixed spots, so it'll be really easier to throw down a marker and say, hey, we are killing Moon first, right? Or we are killing green first, or whatever. Whichever one the raid leader calls has less HP, you might want to switch to that one first. And yeah, that should be it. Perfect. Yeah, so here again, they're dodging. Other explosions are going off, so it's quite a bit of damage. This is also a time where you want to be using your personal cooldowns. Be blowing them up as much as you can. Perfect. And here they are blowing it up. Again, dodging that beam. There's a bunch of encounters here that have a very similar beam. So hopefully mobile DPS, yes, thanks Microsoft, are moving around. Perfect. Again, this is what really sucks. So you can see what happened here, where magma traps spawn, right here. But the guy is casting on the other side. So as these magma traps spawn, like, this is a really rough combo to be dealing with, because you're dealing with both the bombs, right? You have bombs out here. You have magma traps, which hopefully your hunters are prioritizing, right? Like, your healers are prioritizing. Your hunters keep them alive. Your hunters drop the magma traps, disengage out, and keeps them alive. At the same time, your melee or your tank needs to run over to the monk and interrupt his cast. Otherwise, the entire raid is taking lots of damage. This is one of the most challenging sections of this entire encounter, because there is a crap ton of things going on. And again, as these bombs are exploding, you're using personal cooldowns. The bombs or adds are always a priority. There's the pyro as well. So you know what is the priority between bombs and pyro? Pyro is generally the highest priority thing, followed by Zuen, followed by the bombs, in that order. Because Zuen's going to pounce on your raid, which is stacked, kill him quickly. The pyro is going to one-shot somebody. You don't want that person being one-shot either. And you can see here, they kill 2 of the bombs. The monk is casting. Somebody needs to run over there and interrupt him. And the rest of these guys are now standing in the little thing here. There, they interrupted the pyro as well. But again, where possible, bring these things together. You can see here they're cleaving as much as they can. There's the Spirit of Zuen. This guy knows it's on him. He leaps out. Great move by him, because he's not going to leap on the entire raid and do lots of damage there. You can see him casting. If he's getting more than one cast off, your raid is going to be too slow to actually get these things down. So make sure you really, really move your asses to interrupt his cast. That's it in a nutshell for this one. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of videos. As we do these bosses this next week, we're going to see a lot more videos, different strats and that kind of stuff. So we'll certainly update our Coach's Corner videos with what strats and what guilds are mostly doing to make it easy. Because again, when guilds are building these strats, you want to do it with the lowest common denominator and make sure, if it's assigned to little boomkin over here that they're not going to be messing up mechanics. So you'll see these strats very efficient. We'll see exactly how the tuning is. Can Paladins bubble? Can Mages ice block? We're going to find out this week because there just wasn't a ton of proper testing done on some of these bosses. Again, here is phase 2. You can't go through here, so they're going to go to the right, cut across where possible. Again, you can use gateways to get across. You can leap across. You can use your little portals, your self stuff across. One of the strats that you may want to use is you may want to have warlocks put their own personal portals down in various sections. At the same time, you'd be throwing down their gateways to make it easier for the rest of the raid, right? You can only take one gateway. That being said, though, you can make one really effective gateway. The other big thing is there's these orbs that spawn on the ground. Picking up these orbs will make it a lot easier to blow up these things. But at the end of the day, not the end of the world, right? So these are the barriers you want to be killing. Blow them up in order to interrupt the Ring of Hostility and the Flash of Phoenix here, which they're casting. You can see here they're going to break down 1, right? And then interrupt the cast and back to start here. And then these rings will start despawning very soon. Hopefully very soon. And there's the magma traps left over. Pyroblast, somebody's launched up in the air, poor guys. And Spirit of Zuin. So they're despawned. You have magma traps up. So again, assign your players certain responsibilities. You know, if you're a hunter, if you're Gunbusters or Swolfie or Vax or Nesquix, you guys are getting these magma traps. That is your main priority as a mechanic, right? And then of course you're communicating when your cooldowns are up or not. Does a smoke bomb around them, the boss mess with healers? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. At least that's what the iteration was here. You can't be standing outside in the middle of the raid all safe. You must actually run into the smoke bomb and be healing people inside that smoke bomb, which is why it's so important to be stacking together as a group. The other thing is, well, with those debuffs, you can also be mass dispelling, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the damage is like. And again, here is the final phase where he turns into a Firehawk and the other guy turns into a dragon. And they just do massive amounts of damage, throwing people up in the air. And there's the guy, and he's going to start breathing on the raid. So that is the fight in a nutshell. Should be a bit of a challenging one. Again, depends on tuning, depends on how much some of this damage is. Stamina goes a long way, but it comes down to standing in the right spot and killing the ads, which is always your priority, right? Each of these bosses will come down to those 2 important rules. Why did you wipe? Because you didn't kill the ads. Because Suwon was up too long. Because the bombs got off too many explosions, right? Because you didn't do all those things. Why, did you wipe? Because you were standing in the wrong spot. Because you were, standing in the bad. And that is Jadefire Masters in a nutshell. Thank you for watching.